What's up, guys? Back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the GTX 1650. Now, before we go into how it did in games like Fortnite, Apex, and Call of Duty, first we're going to look at the prices. So right now in this economy, graphics cards, they're pretty expensive, and I know some of you guys are on a tight budget, and right now I know it's kind of sketchy to buy it used off of Amazon. Personally, I did that like a year ago, and honestly, I mean, not Amazon, but eBay, but you get it. Personally, I trust it, even though, yeah, it sounds a little sketchy buy used card off of like eBay, but personally, I trust it. I bought it a year ago, and it's good. As you can see right now, I'm using it. Let me go to Task Manager so you can see. So right now, as you can see, GTX 1650 still working, still good. If you're on a tight budget and you need a good graphics card under $100, would I recommend the 1650? Yeah, but here's the thing though. The one you should actually get right here is 1650 Super used. So right now they sell the normal 1650 for around $80 to $90 used on eBay. But if you can find the super for around $90 to $100, it is 100% worth it to get. 100%, because see right here, as you can see, it's like 80 to 90 for the normal 1650, and see the score is 7,861, and obviously the higher the score, the better the card. So then we look at this right here. Boom, 10,112. That's a pretty big difference between the two cards right here, as you can see. So definitely, if you're on a tight budget and you need graphics card that works good and will get you like 60 FPS plus on every game and make it feel like playable and a little smooth, definitely go for the GTX 1650 Super. It is a solid card, but the one thing is it's gonna be used. But if you don't mind that, would definitely recommend getting it, because as you see, if we look over here on Amazon, like you want to buy it new, you would have to pay 150 to 160 for a new one. And then let's look at the Super as well. Look at that, yeah. So yeah, see 190, 200, 249. Hey, it's better just to get it used. Cost a lot less. Basically same performance. So if you're on a tight budget, need a good card, get a GTX 1650 Super used on eBay. You can get it for $100. Will last you a while and it will work good until you can get a better graphics card. But enough of that. Let's get into the games, and based off of that, you can really see, do you want to get this card? Now, mind you, before I get into it, the performance is going to be a little bit better for you, because I use OBS Studio to record, so it's going to be a little bit worse, but it's not going to be much of a difference in like Fortnite and Apex. Call of Duty, yeah, you'll probably get like 2 to 3 more FPS. Just keep that in mind. So right here, this is it on Fortnite on performance mode and this is all on 1080p as well, all on 1080p. So if you look on the top left corner, that's where you see all the stats. So my GPU is at 80 degrees because when I'm recording, I put it on 50% fan speed. So that way you guys don't hear it, because you can already hear the fans in the background. So obviously I don't want it to be super loud in the background, so I put it on 50%. That's why it's so high. But when I have it on 100, usually it's like 50%. I mean, not 50%, 50 degrees, which is pretty decent for a card. But as you can see, we're getting 150 plus FPS. And then it did drop a little bit in the fight, but it was still playable though. Like as you can see, I'm still able to play the game. It still feels pretty smooth at 120 plus FPS. So right there where it says D3, D11, that's the FPS. So the first one that's next to it, that's the FPS that I'm currently getting. The middle is the average, and the third is the highest FPS. Now, obviously, it's at 906 because of like the loading screen. That's where you obviously get the most FPS because nothing is happening. But as you can see, 166 FPS. For the most part, I was getting 150 plus FPS on performance mode on 1080p, which is pretty good for a card under $100. Now, if you have the 1650 Super, this average will be a lot closer to 200, and you'll definitely get way more FPS, which is why I'm saying it only costs like $10 to $20 more and is a big performance boost. That's like 20% difference. That is a lot. You do not want to miss out on 20% performance. So that was on performance mode. Right here, this is DX11. So I'm going to show you a fight so that way you see how it does when you're fighting people in Battle Royale. And as you see right now, 160 plus FPS. I'm breaking stuff, so obviously that's going to take up some of the CPU, or not the CPU, the GPU, and look at that. We still got around 120 FPS there, and still it felt pretty good. Definitely not as good as performance mode, but as you see, the average is still at 150 FPS. Still pretty smooth. Still was able to play the game and win it too. Now let's look at DX12, because DX12, that's where that's where it was really stressing this GPU. Now let me get into a fight. Let me see. Oh yeah, the part where I died. Now see, I'll show you why like you can't play this on DX12. Cause DX12 you want to play that on like a newer GPU and like better one. Like the GTX 1650 definitely can't handle it. As you can see right here, I get into this fight and I was just missing every shot because the game just felt bad. And look at that, 1 HP. I was so mad because it was literally 1 HP. And if it was on performance mode or even DX11, I would have killed him because it would have been more FPS and felt better. So as you can see, I was still getting like 100 FPS there. You know, it was borderline like playable. Like I could barely play, but it was still playable. I'll tell you that. And I was getting 110 FPS. So as the average, which is okay, but it didn't really feel good. I'll tell you that. You definitely don't want to play DX11 with a card like a 1650. I think with a super you'll be fine, but with the normal 1650, definitely don't want to be playing DX12. No reason to be playing on that card. And this is Apex Legends right here, all low settings. Yeah, all the games, they're all on low settings. So when I put DX11 and 12, it was also low settings. Because obviously this is a lower end card, so you can't be really playing on higher settings. So as you see, I'm getting above 100 FPS here in the fights. And even dipping a little bit into the 90s. But it was, for the most part, 90 plus FPS. And as you see on the top left corner, it's at 87 FPS average, which is still pretty good. And it was playable. And as you can see in the fight, I was able to play and get some kills. It's pretty good. And you see I'm getting shot at, trying to run away. Now, it did dip a little bit into the 80s, but it was still felt good for the most part. And you got to remember, if you buy this used, this is like an $80 card. So for $80, the performance you get is honestly pretty decent. But if you get the super, then it's good. Definitely worth the money. And as you see, my teammate died, and I tried to run over there because I had one knocked. So I was trying to get my finish. And then there you go. I got my finish, and I had to run away because they killed that guy. And I didn't know what to do, honestly, because I don't play Apex. This is like I came to Apex, like back to Apex, like after like 5 months. So I didn't know what to do. As you can see, I just went and revived them and just hoped they couldn't hit me with my knockdown shield. And then see, just get shot on my back. So right there, as you can see, about 90 FPS average, pretty decent for Apex. I would say definitely good, but make sure you get the super, because this would have easily been over like 110 FPS average right here. it would have been way better. And then right here for the last one, we have Warzone. So I'm gonna show you. So running around, I got about 40 to 50 FPS, and as you can see, the average is 52. Now, when I played it earlier in May of this year, I was getting a lot more FPS. I was getting like easily 60 plus, and it was much smoother. So I don't know what they did to the game because I had it on the same settings I had it on the last time I played, but like it is way worse now. It was actually playable back in May. Like I was getting 60 plus FPS, smooth game, never had a lag spike or nothing. It was always good, but now I come back and it's choppy, 40 to 50 FPS. Now look at this. I'm gonna go over here because I need to show you something. See the shield. That was a big problem. Hold on, let me. No, 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 no. Hold up. Where's it? Where I was in the building with the shield. See now I get this shield right, and look at that lag spike. Drop down to 30 FPS, and then I didn't know. I didn't even know it was gonna be like this. So I tried it again, and then boom, down to 30. Wait, I think I even got like down to 20 there. Okay, no. All right, so yeah, it was like 31. So like if you try to use the shield, your FPS will drop down significantly, and especially when you're in a building, it will drop down a lot. So I will say if you want to play COD, the normal GTX 1650 will be like, when I say that I really mean it's borderline playable. Like you can play, but like at the same time it's gonna be really bad. It's gonna be a bad experience. Like I would rather play on a PS4 to be honest, cause it worked better. So so that's why I'm saying you should get the super. If you're gonna buy this used and you need a card that's under $100 and it's used, just go on eBay, find a GTX 1650 Super, and you'll be good. Cause you would easily get 60 plus FPS on 1080p with the a GTX 1650 Super. So pretty much that's it. I showed you guys the prices and the option between two cards you can get and how the normal one performed in these games, but also for the super on performance mode it would get about 200 FPS average on like around that. Over here on DX11 it would be at 150, and on the DX12 it will be around, it'll be yeah, close to 150 as well, like 140ish, around that. On Apex you'll easily get 120, and on COD easily like 60, like the high 60s to like low to mid 70s on Warzone. So there you go. That I showed you your two options for good cards that are under $100. You can choose which one based off of the video. There's that. And if you enjoyed that, make sure to like and subscribe and comment any questions you got, and I'll try to answer it. I'll see you later.